Hey my friends. Today's summary tells one of the most exciting stories that blends action, crime, and emotion. A young woman gets caught up in some serious crimes. So what are they? Let's find out. The movie begins with a young man named Ivan attending a poetry event hosted by a very wealthy man. Ivan, however, is actually a highly skilled and talented art thief, just like his late father. He's there with the intent to steal a very expensive silver statue. Acting casual, he orders a drink and waits for the perfect moment. Before arriving at the event, he had already disabled all the security cameras. While he's at the party, someone calls him over for a magic performance. At that same moment, a beautiful girl named Lisa is also watching the show. After the magician finishes, Lisa approaches Ivan and starts talking to him. They hit it off and chat for a while. Ivan tells her he's there because he loves poetry and introduces himself as an art consultant. Their conversation gets interrupted by the host of the event, who invites everyone to step outside into the garden to listen to a poem. Everyone heads out, and Ivan pretends he's going with them. On the way, he tells Lisa he's going back inside to get her a drink and will join her outside shortly. Once she leaves, he sneaks back inside the house. After confirming that everyone is outside, Ivan heads straight for the statue. He prepares to steal it by pulling out a balloon identical in shape to the statue. He swaps it with the real one, places the statue in his bag, and everything goes exactly according to plan. Just as he's about to leave, a little girl sees him and asks what he's doing. He quickly makes up a story, saying he spilled his drink on the carpet and is taking it to clean. He laughs it off, sends the girl out to give the drink to Lisa, just as he had told her, and then heads out with the bag containing the statue. To create a distraction, he triggers the car alarms on all the vehicles in the area, making a lot of noise so no one notices him leaving with the bag. The plan works. He puts the bag in his car and drives off after completing the mission with ease. The next day, Ivan gets a phone call from the shelter where his brother is staying. It's a place that houses immigrants who don't have anywhere else to go. When Ivan arrives, he finds out his brother's been causing trouble and can't stay there any longer. So, Ivan agrees to take his brother in for a few days until he can find a place of his own. They leave together, grab lunch, and talk for a bit. Then they go back to Ivan's apartment. Ivan tells his brother he can't stay there forever and needs to find a job and place to live as soon as possible. Ivan then heads out to meet Dmitri, the guy he works for, the one who arranges the art thefts and takes a cut. Ivan leaves the bag with the statue with one of Dmitri's men and goes inside to talk. Dmitri used to work with Ivan's dad back in the day. They were partners in crime. After Ivan's father passed away, Ivan started working for Dmitri, doing jobs for him. Dmitri gives Ivan a new job at a charity event, but Ivan tells him he'll only do 2 more jobs because he's decided to retire from stealing for good. Dmitri tries to talk him out of it, but Ivan insists he doesn't want to be a thief forever. He takes the details for the new job and leaves. Later, Ivan arrives at the charity event, posing as the driver for a VIP guest. He heads to the bathroom, and when he steps out, he runs into Lisa again. They both enjoy the coincidence and start chatting. Lisa asks what he's doing at the event too, and he tells her he's interested in charity work. She asks him for a favor and explains that she's an aspiring actress in Hollywood, not too famous yet. She came to talk business with an Italian producer who's also at the event, but the guy is being a bit too pushy and she's uncomfortable. So she asks Ivan to pretend to be her boyfriend so the producer will back off. Ivan agrees and joins her to meet the producer, playing along as her boyfriend. After the producer walks away, Ivan decides it's time to complete his mission. He takes Lisa to a certain room where there's a valuable painting, the one he came to steal. The room has a pool table, so Ivan disables the cameras and starts playing billiards with Lisa to stall. They talk some more, and Lisa opens up about her past, how she used to be a Hollywood actress until one director tried to force himself on her. When she rejected him, he blacklisted her from getting work, and she hasn't acted since. They keep talking until the producer calls Lisa over to discuss work. Once Ivan is alone, he pulls out his tools and starts working on the painting. He carefully removes it and replaces it with decoys so the motion sensors don't detect the theft. He wipes off all his fingerprints, restores everything to look untouched, reactivates the cameras, takes the painting, and leaves the event. The next day, Ivan meets up with Dmitri, carrying the stolen painting. There, he sees Dmitri's brother Eric, who tries to downplay the painting's value and convince Dmitri to pay Ivan less. But Dmitri doesn't listen to Eric. He tells Ivan he'll pay him the full amount and asks him to focus on his next, very special mission. Dmitri explains that the next job involves stealing the first painting ever made by Hitler, a very valuable and rare piece. It's kept in the home of a powerful military general. What's strange is that there are no guards at the house, just the general and 2 dogs. Dmitri gives Ivan detailed info on where the painting is located and warns him that the general is extremely stubborn and won't give up the painting easily. More importantly, Dmitri offers Ivan a huge sum of money if he can pull it off. He also promises that if Ivan succeeds, he'll let him retire and never ask him to do another job. At first, Ivan is surprised, but then he's thrilled. The pay is massive, and Dmitri's offer to let him walk away afterwards seems genuine. Ivan goes to the bathroom before leaving and notices broken glass and a lot of blood in there. But he doesn't think much of it. When he comes out, Dmitri tells him his nose was just bleeding, nothing serious. He hands Ivan part of the money and tells him to start the job as soon as possible. Ivan agrees, takes the cash, and leaves. At that time, the man who organized the poetry event discovered that the statue was missing and saw the balloon left in its place. So he went straight to the police station and filed a report. He spoke with Officer Lyman, who asked him several questions. One of the most important ones was whether there had been anyone at the party he didn't know. The host confirmed that he knew all the guests. However, his young daughter, who had seen Ivan, asked the officers if they knew the man who took the carpet to clean it. When Lyman heard that, he became suspicious and had the station's sketch artists create a drawing of the man based on the girl's description. They managed to sketch Ivan's face, but they still couldn't figure out his identity. That night, Ivan headed to the military general's house to steal the painting. He placed a sedative inside some meat and tossed it to the guard dogs, making them pass out. Ivan then approached the house quietly, but the general sensed something was off. He noticed the dogs were gone and hadn't made a sound in a while, so he grabbed his rifle and went outside to look for them. But that was exactly what Ivan wanted. It was a trap to lure the general away from the house. Once the coast was clear, Ivan snuck inside, found the room with the painting, took it, and made a clean getaway. When he got back to his apartment, he was surprised to find Lisa knocking on his door. He opened it, clearly nervous, and refused to let her in because his brother was asleep inside. She told him she found out where he lived by going through his wallet during the charity event. So Ivan took her out instead, and they spent the evening together playing billiards. While playing, Lisa opened up and told him she hadn't been completely honest about what had happened with the director who assaulted her. She explained that after he tried to force himself on her, she stole an expensive necklace from him. That was the real reason he ruined her career. He told her he'd let her act again if she paid him back for the necklace. She had already paid off most of it, but still owed $200,000. She asked Ivan if he could help her gather the rest of the money. In return, she offered to help him with something. Since she was an actress, he asked her to pretend to be his girlfriend and come with him to negotiate the purchase of a house. Her job would be to keep the real estate agent distracted while he looked for something inside the house. Lisa agreed to help him out, said goodbye, and left, unaware that someone was secretly watching her. The next day, Ray, Ivan's brother, gave him their father's gun, saying Ivan probably needed it more than he did. He also mentioned that a car had been parked outside the building all night, and that car belonged to Officer Lyman, who had been surveilling Ivan. Meanwhile, Lisa was at a pawn shop, dressed in disguise with a wig, pretending to be someone else. She moved from person to person, getting close and stealing from them until she'd gathered a decent amount of money, then left. Around that same time, Ivan went to see Dmitri and Eric. He told them about the officer who had been watching him. But instead of showing concern, Dmitri shocked him. This man, who Ivan once thought was a close friend of his father, pulled a gun on him and threatened to kill him, saying he wasn't going to risk getting arrested because of Ivan. Fortunately, Ivan still had the upper hand. He had one last card to play. Dmitri lowered his weapon and claimed it had just been a test. He then demanded that Ivan hand over the painting, but Ivan refused and said he was walking away. Dmitri tried to stop him, offering him one final job: steal a specific statue and hand it over along with the painting, then they'd settle things and part ways. Ivan reluctantly agreed, took the address, and left, but something didn't feel right. As he was leaving, he spotted Officer Lyman watching him. He approached and asked why he was being followed. Lyman told him he knew everything about Ivan, his family, and the people he worked with. He even knew that Ivan had stolen a piece of art worth $75 million. He explained that the little girl had testified against him and gave a description that perfectly matched his face, which was more than enough to convict him. But Lyman made it clear he didn't want to arrest Ivan, he wanted the bigger players behind him. Specifically, he was talking about Dmitri and his brother, calling them two of the most dangerous criminals in the country. Lyman warned Ivan, if he refused to help take them down, he'd arrest him instead, and it would be easy, since he already had plenty of evidence. He handed Ivan his business card and told him to think about it. The next day, Ivan and Lisa, both in disguise with completely different looks, go to negotiate with the real estate agent about buying the house. Lisa keeps the agent busy and continues negotiating while Ivan walks around the house trying to find what he came for. But he doesn't find it, so he grabs Lisa and they leave together. Once they get in the car, Ivan realizes that Lyman is still watching him. So he takes Lisa somewhere far and tells her that what he was looking for wasn't there. She smiles and brings up the painting that used to hang in the billiards room, the same one she saw when she was with him, because she heard it got stolen right after that. At first, Ivan denies it, but when she presses him, he finally confesses that he stole it. He tells her everything and explains that the people he's working with might actually kill him. His life is in real danger, and that's why he's trying to take them down before they take him out. Lisa is shocked by what she hears, but then she tells him she wants to help and do what she can to protect him and save his life. Ivan pushes her away, saying he never asked for her help and doesn't need her at all. Lisa gets really upset and storms off. But shortly after, Ivan goes after her, apologizes for what he said, and asks her to help him. She agrees, and the two grow even closer. They end up spending the night together at Ivan's apartment. In the morning, Ivan introduces Lisa to his brother. Then his brother heads out, leaving them to get ready to go. After they all leave the apartment, one of Dmitri's men breaks in and searches the place for the painting. He tears the apartment apart until he finds the safe where Ivan keeps his valuables. But he can't open it, so he takes the whole safe and leaves with it. He takes it to a remote location and tries to crack it open using tools, but finds nothing inside. Later that night, when Ivan finds out someone broke into his place, he goes straight to Officer Lyman and tells him everything. Lyman says he had nothing to do with it and insists that it must have been Dmitri. He tells Ivan that he won't protect him from Dmitri and that he's on his own. So Ivan decides to take matters into his own hands, with Lisa's help. She agrees to meet up with Dmitri and get close to him long enough to lure him away from his men. And that's exactly what she does. Lisa flirts with him and convinces him to get in the car with her. Ray, Ivan's brother, is driving the car in disguise. Meanwhile, Ivan tracks down the guy who broke into his apartment and takes him out. He grabs the man's phone and uses it to send a message to Dmitri. While that's going on, Lisa and Ray drive Dmitri to a remote house. Lisa hands him a drink to relax him. But Dmitri starts getting suspicious. He pulls out his gun, calls out to the driver, and shoots him, because he recognized him. He realized Ray looked like his father and figured out it was all part of Ivan's setup. Dmitri shoots both of them and tells them Ivan is already dead. He claims he just got a message from one of his men confirming it. But in reality, that message was sent by Ivan himself using the phone of the man he had just killed. Suddenly, as Dmitri is bragging, Ivan walks in and points a gun at him. Dmitri pretends to surrender and drinks the liquor Lisa gave him, just to distract them while he pulls out his gun and aims it at Lisa. He threatens to kill her. Ivan lowers his gun, and Ray begs his brother to do the same and just listen. The three of them keep talking to distract Dmitri until he suddenly collapses. The drink had been laced with a heavy dose of cocaine by Ray. Dmitri falls to the ground and dies. The next day, Ivan sends a message to Lyman saying he found Dmitri dead in his apartment from an overdose, and that inside the house he'll find all the stolen artwork. He warns Lyman not to try and arrest him afterward, because he has recordings of all their conversations, which is a big problem for Lyman, since he'd been conducting an off-the-books investigation. Sure enough, Lyman shows up, finds Dmitri's body, and seizes all the stolen art. At the same time, Ivan goes to the director who had demanded $200,000 from Lisa. He gives him the money, punches him, and tells him to put Lisa back to work. The director agrees. Even though Ivan and Lisa now have plenty of money, they keep stealing, because they love the thrill of it. The rush they feel when they pull off a heist is what keeps them going. So they continue living their lives together, full of excitement, adrenaline, and crime. And that's where the movie ends. If you like the movie, give us a thumbs up, let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.